A very good morning, class. Today, in that alcohol phenol ether, in that continuation, I'm here with the lecture number 4, and that is the revision class. So, I hope you people are getting this thing properly and revise the things whatever I have explained till now. So, let's start. Today we are going to do that preparation of ether. Before that we have done about the nomenclature of ether and the alcohol we have finished. So now the preparation and preparation of ethers, and after that we will continue with the phenols. Okay. So in this preparation of ether, first we will go with this from primary alcohol. How we can prepare ether by primary alcohol, 1 degree alcohol. So that is with conc H2SO4. When alcohol reacts with conc H2SO4 at 140 degrees Celsius in presence of H2SO4 or any other dehydrating agent like Al2O3 at 5 Kelvin के दो और 140 degrees Celsius H2SO4 के लिए है, ठीक है? Then it will undergo dehydration and will give symmetrical ether. So since 2 moles of ether, same alcohol we will take, so that's why we will get the symmetrical ether. Order of dehydration will be primary will give faster, while the secondary and then the tertiary will have the least reactivity. What's the reason? Because it is giving it is not forming carbocation. Okay, so carbocation, if it is not forming carbocation, we don't have to discuss about the tertiary alcohol cannot be like faster, steric hindrance will be there, and hence the tertiary alcohol will have the least reactivity. With diazomethane, we have done with this diazomethane. We have I have already explained about this diazomethane, what it is. So now when this diazomethane reacts with alcohol in presence of aluminium ethoxide, it will give you nitrogen gas. Along with the nitrogen gas, the main product will be ether, and that is ROCH3. This is the ether it will form. Okay. Alcohol having at least one hydrogen at 4th carbon gives 5-membered cyclic ether with lead acetate. That is important point that to be noted. That if the alcohol having at least having at least one hydrogen at the 4th carbon, then it will undergo ring formation to get the stability in presence of lead acetate. The reaction is free radical reaction, which is initiated by heat or light. So let's see how it will be. So this is ethanol. Here also this water will go out, okay? But the hydrogen of the 4th carbon will go. So this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So what will happen? The H of this and this H will come out as a H2, okay? And then it will form tetrahydrofuran. Okay, so this reaction is dehydrogenation, a type of dehydrogenation. With this help, it undergoes ring formation, dehydrogenation, and it will lead to formation of cyclic ether. Okay, similarly, if more than 4 carbon will be there, so we have to consider the 4th carbon only. Okay, so in this case, if we'll check that this is 1 and here 3, 4 and this is 5th. So sorry, it won't be, इसे हम नहीं consider करेंगे. Can I write like this? इसको 2 and here it is CH3 and then let it be इसको CH3 कर देते हैं. Yes. Okay. So here 1, 2, 3 and this is 4th carbon, this is 5th carbon. So the 4th carbon, let it be 1 hydrogen only. This H and this H will go out as H2 and it will form the cyclic ether. The CH3 will be outside. So this will form 2-methyl tetrahydrofuran. I hope it is you got it, how to make it. Now Williamson synthesis. This is the one of very important reaction of ether, and we have done in alkyl halide too. Okay. So this is, and we will do in this alkyl halide we have done, alcohol also we have done, and here ether in that case also we will do. SN2 reaction of sodium alkoxide with alkyl halide, alkyl sulfonate or alkyl sulfate is known as Williamson synthesis of ether. Out of this alkyl halide is the important one. Alkyl halide is the most common one. Okay, with this it is most common. So what will happen? The first thing, Williamson synthesis follows the SN2 reaction. This is the important thing. Another, it will be sodium alkoxide, which is also known as RONA. Like to learn RONA, where this Na is sodium, and OR, that means alkoxide. Depends upon R, it will be named as. Like if it is 2 carbon, it will be sodium ethoxide, 3 carbon, it will be sodium propoxide, something like that. Okay. Along with this alkyl halide or alkyl sulfonate or alkyl sulfate, then it will form ether. So this is alkyl sodium alkoxide, and here it is alkyl halide. This L can be sulfate, can be halogen, can be sulfonate. Okay, so this follows SN2 reaction and it will react this ROR dash, and साथ में ये जो भी group होगा that will form. This L can be halide, alkyl sulfonate over here, and this is alkyl sulfate. Okay. Now next is, in this reaction, alkoxide may be primary, secondary, as well as tertiary. Alkyl halide must be primary. This is again the important point. Alkoxide can be primary, can be secondary or tertiary, no matter, no worry about this. But alkyl halide must be primary, because if it will be secondary or tertiary, there will be steric hindrance, and it will that SN2 will not go on smoothly, and that's why in that case ether will not form. Okay. So in case of tertiary alkyl halide, elimination occurs giving alkenes. So question can be asked that why it is so, because Williamson synthesis follows SN2 reaction. That means if we are talking about the tertiary alkyl halide or the secondary alkyl halide being more steric hindered, it will follow elimination reaction instead of substitution reaction. Okay. With the secondary alkyl halide, both the elimination and substitution product will be formed, while in case of tertiary, only the elimination product will be there, and in case of primary, only the substitution product will be there. I hope it is clear. With the primary, only this substitution product will form. With the secondary, both substitution and elimination product will form, and with the tertiary, it will only form elimination product. Yes. Rx plus Na, this is RONA, sodium alkoxide, and what will happen, this NaX will come out and it will form ROR dash. Okay, so if this is same, this is R dash, let it be R and R dash. If it will be same, it will be called symmetrical, and if it is different, it will be called unsymmetrical ether. Okay, so like in this case, primary alkyl halide, and I have used here sodium third butoxide. That means this alkoxide is tertiary, isn't it? So in that case also, it will go on and it will form the CS3. Since it is primary, so it will form ether. So simply Na and Br को हटा देंगे and CS3 will attach to this oxygen and it will form tertiary butyl methyl ether. Okay. चलिए, now next from alkenes. RCH double bond CH2, this is called oxymercuration demercuration reaction, it can be called. Okay, so when it reacts with the mercury acetate in presence of followed by reducing agent, that is NaBH4 in alkaline medium, it will give you the ether. Okay, so what will happen, this reaction, oxymercuration demercuration reaction, if you can remember it follows the Markovnikov. That means the OR group, the alkoxy group, will attach to that double bonded carbon atom where hydrogen is less in number. Okay, example, we see that CS3, this is C double bond CH2 and here CS3. So this two are the double bonded carbon atom. We have to see that where we will put this OR. This is here, this is group, no? This is the group. So where will we put this OCS3? Where the carbon is less. That means with this carbon it will attach. So it will form like this. Okay. Now next case, again if you are doing this, this is double bond and HC, again this it will follow the Markovnikov rule, and where the hydrogen is less, this OCS3 group will attach to this. That means it is going to attach over here and it will form CS3, CS3, OCS3, and this is what will be the name, the same compound, methyl butyl ether. Okay. From Grignard reagent. Grignard reagent, we know that this is RMGX. So any alkyl, it can be alkyl, it can be aryl, and magnesium, and then halogen, most probably bromine. Higher ethers can be prepared by treating alpha halo ethers with suitable reagent. Alpha halo ethers kya hai? Just go through with this. Like this is OCS3 alpha, that means if with the alpha, that means the carbon with which oxygen yani functional group is attached, with that the chlorine will also be attached, the halogen will also be attached. That is called alpha halo ether. Okay, so you can see that this is the functional group over here. So the carbon attached with this will be considered as alpha carbon, and with the alpha carbon there is the halogen also, isn't it? This is Grignard reagent. If it reacts in presence of dry ether, what will happen? This will give you CH3CO. This MgI and Cl will come out to form a product, magnesium compound, and whatever the alkyl group are present is group is present in the Grignard reagent, that will attach to this carbon. So it will form CH3O, CH2, CH3. That means ethyl methyl ether. I hope it is clear. Yes, and MgCl, ICl will form from alkyl halide. Right now, we have done with the alkyl halide. That was the Williamson synthesis. That means in that case, the alkyl halide was supposed to react with the sodium alkoxide. Another way is also there, in which the alkyl halide is reacted with the dry silver oxide. When alkyl halide reacts with dry silver oxide, it will form ether along with the AgI. Yes. Dipole nature of ether. What are the dipole nature for this? Are they exactly like we see that it is written as like this, C11OC? That means it should be non-polar. Yes, it should be non-polar, but actually it's not non-polar. Its bond angle is not 180, rather it is 110. So why so? The question can be asked that why like ether is having 110 degrees Celsius, or why it is what is the nature of ether? So you can say that whether it is polar or non-polar, you can say it can be asked. Okay. Another question can be asked that although it has tetrahedral geometry, but still the bond angle is 110, why not 109.5 degrees Celsius? Because sp3, so it will be 109.5, isn't it? Not degrees Celsius, sorry, 109.5 degree. Clear? So why so the bond angle is like that? Because of the greater electronegativity of oxygen than carbon, the carbon O bond are slightly polar, are inclined to each other at an angle of 110 degrees Celsius, resulting in a net dipole moment. That means the net dipole moment doesn't become zero. So see, this is the structure. It is not linear, rather it is bent somewhat due to lone pair repulsion also. We can say that this lone pair move in this way, this will be move in this way, and that's why the bond angle ye jo straight hona chahiye tha, it's not straight, it is slightly tilted. Yes, and the bond angle becomes 110 degrees Celsius. Okay, so the net dipole moment cannot be zero in that case. Now, chemical properties of ether. What are the chemical reactions? So, in that case, dialkyl ether react with very few reagents other than acid. Acid को छोड़ के बहुत कम reagent के साथ ये react करते हैं. And the only active site for other reagent are the CH bond of the alkyls. That means जो ether के जो CH bond होते हैं, that is the only center where the other reagent can attack. Ether has ability to solvate cations, that means electrophile, by donating an electron pair from their oxygen atom. These properties make the ether as solvent for many reactions. Did you get that? Ether has lone pair of electrons, so due to that, it has the tendency to donate the electron pair to the cations, and that's why it can solvate the cations into it. Yes. So this is the reason that ether can act as a solvent for many reactions. On standing in contact with air, most aliphatic ethers are converted slowly into unstable peroxide. Okay, if we will leave it undisturbed, it will be like most aliphatic ethers will slowly convert into the unstable peroxide. Now the nucleophilic substitution reaction. So if this is, let's assume this is ether. So this bond can be broken, yes, and obviously oxygen being electronegative, it will have negative charge, and R will have positive charge. So these are the reactant, reagent, how it will react. So let me explain with this. With the conc H2SO4, 1 mole agar hum use karte hain conc H2SO4 and warm karte hain, then it will give you the alcohol and alcohol back. Okay, so H2SO4 will give you H plus and SO3H minus. So this H plus will attach to this alcohol aa jayega, and another R will attach to the SO3H minus, and that will give this compound. If we are using 2 mole conc H2SO4, then water will come out and both will give you the sulfonate. Yes, alkyl sulfonate it will give you, or sulfonic acid it will give you. If at the high pressure we are using high pressure in presence of acid, it will give you alcohol. Both will give you like ROH will turn into the 2 moles of ROR will turn into 2 moles of alcohol. Okay. This is the important reaction. If ether reacts with HI in cold condition, it will give you alkyl halide and alcohol. So here a few like tips is there. We can say that if R and OR is not symmetrical, okay, that means R and R dash are not symmetrical, then in that case, for this it is I'm talking about, okay, then in that case the halogen goes with the lower alkyl group. Got it? Halogen goes with the lower alkyl group. So let me write over here. Okay, but if in that case any alkyl group is tertiary, if any alkyl group is tertiary over there, then the alkyl halide will go along with the tertiary. Got it? But I hope it is clear. This is with the reaction of HI. If this ether is not symmetrical, then the then on reacting with the HI, that halogen goes with the lower alkyl group. But if any one of alkyl group, any of this 2 alkyl group is tertiary, then it will form tertiary halide and other one will convert into alcohol. Got it? So this is very important point, just keep in your mind. Okay, but if there is 2 HI mole we are using, then it both will give you the alkyl halide. That means alcohol will not form in that case. And if we will use the 3 mole of HI, that means excess of HI in presence of red P, then ether will directly convert into alkane. Got it? So that will give you the same. If both are same, like R and R dash are same, then it will give you 2 moles of alkane. And if both are different, then it will give you the mixture of alkane. Now the next reaction is with acyl chloride, okay, RCOCl in presence of anhydrous ZnCl2. Then it will give you alkyl halide along with the ester. This about this alkyl halide, if there is tertiary, it will form the tertiary halide. Any one of if it is there tertiary, it will form tertiary alkyl halide. Another will form the ester. But if both are same, like both are in different number, then the smaller group will give you the alkyl halide. Okay. Now, if it reacts with acid anhydride, in both the case, in this case, it will give you the ester. Okay, 2 moles of ester it will give you. On heating with PCl5, we know that PCl5 reaction, how it is. PCl5, we will write that this is PCl3 and here Cl and Cl, and it will give you 2 moles of alkyl halide along with the POCl3 as a side product. I hope all this reactions are clear. Yes. So now move to, this is next note. Type of ether also make a difference in the mechanism followed during the cleavage of CO by HiHBr, which I have already told you in the reaction, that which type of ether is there, it will decide that what product will form and how the CO bond will break. Okay. So combinations, if primary and secondary alkyl are there, then mechanism follows होगा less sterically hindrance, hence follows SN2 mechanism. If secondary and tertiary alkyl are there, then more sterically hindered हो गया यहाँ पे, and that's why it will follow SN1 mechanism. And if primary and tertiary alkyl are there, then it will follow the SN1 and it will same follow SN1. SN1, and we know that if there is like this one, I have explained about the SN1 and SN2 already. I have explained in that case. If there is a aprotic non-polar solvent, it will follow SN2 mechanism, and if it is protic polar solvent, it will follow SN1 mechanism. So I hope it is clear. Yes. Dehydration with H2SO4 and anhydrous Al2O3. So dehydrating isn't they are, that means it will take out the water molecule from the ether. when both alkyl groups have beta hydrogen, अगर दोनों ही alkyl group में beta hydrogen हो, then what will be the product? So we can see that this is ether. Okay, so this is it is also having beta here, and this side also beta, and this side also there is a beta. Okay, so in this case, if both the alkyl halide are having beta hydrogen, then what will happen when it reacts with the conc H2SO4? This O bond here, it will like this bond will break, okay, and it will give you the alkene. So in this case, it will form, since both are having in this case it will form the double bond over here, and alkene will form, and similarly alpha beta ke beech mein there will be double bond and it will come. So just keep in mind that when both alkyl group will have beta hydrogen and it reacts with the conc H2SO4, then it will result in formation of alkene, and where the double bond will come, always between alpha and beta carbon. The double bond will come always between the alpha and beta carbon. Okay, so let me write it here. Okay, got it? Chaliye, next. When only one alkyl group have beta hydrogen, then what will happen? If there is only one group and only one alkyl group which is having beta hydrogen, like we can see that in this case there is no beta hydrogen, but in this case there is a beta hydrogen, and it undergoes reaction with this conc H2SO4, then the bond will break. Okay, and how the bond will break, I have told you that in this case that it will lead in formation of tertiary carbocation, the carbocation which is more stable. So which bond will break? Either this bond or this bond. Which bond will break? Obviously this bond will break, because on breaking this bond, this is going to lead in formation of tertiary carbocation which is more stable. So that's why the tertiary carbocation will form, and after that it will undergo like double bond shifting. A double bond will form, alkene will form. So another group will give you the H2S, so for that alcohol. Got it? Yes. Next, hot and conc. This is conc, not conc. Hot and conc H2SO4 react with secondary and tertiary ether to give a mixture of alcohol and alkenes. That already we have done in that case also, Williamson synthesis. Yes. Like in this case, CS3, this is tertiary. So what will be the product? So how it will form this, the bond? CS3 here, let me write, open it, okay? It will be easy to understand if I will open this structure. So let me do this. Again, this is tertiary. Yes. So the which bond is going to break? Obviously, the tertiary carbon and the oxygen bond will break. So this bond will break, and it will form here. It will form double bond over there between alpha and beta. We can form, and this will give you the alcohol. So I hope it is clear. Yes. Chaliye, next. No, it will be CH2, not CS3. Okay. Now in this case, again the same thing. So this is tertiary and this one is cyclo. So this bond is going to break on that case, and it will give you the alcohol cyclohexanol, and it will give you isobutene, the same structure as above. Got it? So just keep in this mind that if it is having secondary and tertiary, then which bond has to be broken, which will lead in formation of tertiary carbocation, that bond will break. Miscellaneous reaction, some miscellaneous reaction of ether we will do. Now the next is halogenation. Monohalogenation takes place at a carbon with a small amount. Okay. So when excess of ether we will take in presence of chlorine and H nu, that means less amount of chlorine we are taking. So what will happen? Only the alpha hydrogen will be substituted by chlorine. So this will form alpha chloro alkyl like dialkyl ether. But if we are taking excess of chlorine and less amount of ether we will take, then this is excess. We can say this is in excess. Okay. So then what will happen? All the hydrogen, all the alpha beta hydrogen of that alkyl group will substituted by chlorine. So that means har jagah kya ho jayega? Chlorine aa jayega. So how many hydrogen are there? 3 and 2, 5. Here also 2 and 3, 5. So both side, all that only chlorine will be there. So such type of compound in which all the hydrogen are substituted by a single element are named with the per prefix. we can say. So that's why we can name it perchlorodiethyl ether. That also we can name it perchlorodiethyl ether or perchloroethoxyethane. Yes, got it? Okay. So now reaction with CO, that will give you ester. Okay, when ether reacts with carbon monoxide, it gives ester. ROR, when reacts with CO at 125 to 180 degrees Celsius at 200 atm BF3 के presence में, it will give you ester. That's it for today class. I hope whatever I have explained today's reaction was quite easy, and we have not done anything new. That all that we have already done in CBSE series. Yes, so I hope you have got it easily, and that's it for today. So next is phenol and its properties we will do. Till then, thank you class.